Yeah, Andrea Onana is going to Trabzonspor. It's an exclusive story from the weekend. Now is a done deal because all the documents are signed between all parties involved. So Andrea Onana will travel on Thursday this week to Turkey to become a new Trabzonspor player. The deal is a loan from Manchester United, doesn't include a buy option clause, doesn't include a loan fee. Basically, Trabzonspor will pay the salary of Andrea Onana, the same salary he's earning at Manchester United, but adding to this a signing fee and bonuses. So Onana will receive a higher salary compared to the salary he's receiving at Manchester United. So this is the agreement. On Thursday is going to be time for travel, medical test, and then the deal will be official with Andrea Onana and the big surprise in the Turkish market with former Inter goalkeeper. Imagine Man United 2 years ago paid 55 million euros to sign Onana from Inter, and now he's moving on loan to Trabzonspor.
Touching on this point, so what was the idea behind Manchester United's decision to let Onana leave after what they spent 2 years ago?
Yeah, look, the decision is that basically I think the message from Ruben Amorim was very strong, despite all people talking about fitness, recovering from injury and all these kind of things. Amorim always made clear in all the interviews in press conference that it was a technical decision to leave Onana out in the first 3 games of the Premier League. A player like Onana not playing even one single minute in 3 Premier League games. Okay, he played in the League Cup, but against a 4th division team. This is not Premier League football, and so Onana was completely out of the project at Manchester United. So I think the message from Amorim was very clear. And also Manchester United, when they decided to invest on Senne Lammens as new goalkeeper in the final hours of the summer transfer window, probably having a goalkeeper like Andrea Onana sitting on the bench without European football, so you can't rotate, without a League Cup, so you can't rotate even more in English competitions, well, this was probably going to put some pressure. Imagine this is what they feel internally at Man United. Every time there was the lineup of Man United, the news was going to be Lammens is starting and Onana is on the bench, Onana is on the bench, Onana is on the bench. This kind of narrative was probably going to be negative for all people, for the player, for Lammens, for Onana himself, for Manchester United, for Amorim, and so they decided to part ways. Onana accepted this solution and decided to accept Trabzonspor.
So the question is, why Lammens talking about strategies and not Emiliano Martinez?
This has been a 50-50 story till the final 12 hours of the summer transfer window, really. It was a 51% Lammens, 49% Emiliano Martinez. Look, for Man United, it was 2 completely different opportunities. Obviously, Lammens is a goalkeeper for present and future, a big talent, big skills, considered a top talent in his position, and also cheaper than Emiliano Martinez. Emi Martinez, on the other side, can offer leadership. He's a serial winner with Argentina. He's a goalkeeper who knows the league very well. So obviously, this was 2 completely different ways. Don't forget about the salary, because the salary of Emiliano Martinez compared to Senne Lammens is completely different. Without mentioning numbers, I never mention salaries, but this was completely different. And also, Man United were hoping to include Jadon Sancho on a permanent transfer to Aston Villa as part of the conversation, but at the end was only a loan. And so the easier solution for Man United was to go for Senne Lammens, but not just the easier, their favorite solution, because he's very young, he's considered a top talent, and they believe with Lammens they don't have just a goalkeeper for 1 or 2 seasons, but they have a goalkeeper for the future.
Talking about the situations that did not happen in this case, Kobbie Mainoo I'm talking about, what was the situation about the player in the last days of the transfer window?
Yeah, the reality is that Kobbie wanted to go. Kobbie wanted to go on loan, as we always said here on the podcast. So Kobbie was very honest. He never wanted to leave Man United as club or as project, but he didn't want to spend the season on the bench. Kobbie was really disappointed when after the game against Fulham, he played 0 minutes, but also Ruben Amorim in press conference says he can play instead of Bruno Fernandes, but Bruno Fernandes is the starter. So Kobbie Mainoo was feeling something like, okay, if Bruno is going to start all the games, as we know he's going to do, because he's the captain, he's the symbol of this team, well, I don't want to be on the bench every single game. And Kobbie didn't say that. I'm saying that, but this was the idea behind the player. So Kobbie wanted to go on loan, wanted to play 38 games this season, wanted to be a regular starter elsewhere, wanted to play a World Cup in 1 year with England, because it's something really important for him, and wanted to develop, so to return to Man United in 2026 as a stronger player and ready to compete for a starting spot. Man United immediately told him, no chance, no loan, no permanent transfer, no way. You are staying here. I'm told that this decision even involved the co-owner, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who was part of this conversation to keep Kobbie Mainoo. So nothing happened. Now, Kobbie will have the opportunity to compete for his spot at Man United, but obviously he wants to play. For him, is really, really important.
Talking about other Man United stars and crucial players, Bruno Fernandes, was he really close to leave the club in the summer?
Yeah, close, probably not that close, but it was a concrete possibility at the beginning of the summer transfer window when Al Hilal already end of May, started to go very strong for Bruno Fernandes. Al Hilal made a really important financial proposal. Then we had many stories also on Al Ittihad during the summer, on more stories, Al Ittihad, Al Nasser, completely fake. All the stories you heard in August, in July were completely fake because there was never any chance for Bruno to leave in July or in August. The only real chance was at the beginning of the transfer window when Al Hilal tried very strong. They had a negotiation with Bruno and with his agents, but then Bruno decided to turn down the proposal and to stay at Manchester United. But then after that, Bruno never ever negotiated or considered to leave Man United. What I can tell you is that from Saudi, they will keep tracking Bruno Fernandes. So for this summer is over, for this year is over. If you ask me for 2026 or maybe 2027, this will be up to Bruno, not to me. Do you think they will return? My answer is yes. I think from Saudi they will return for Bruno Fernandes, and let's see if at some point they will convince him.
Fabri, can you reveal us one deal that did not happen, that was actually something that was happening behind the scenes?
I will mention Conor Gallagher because Conor Gallagher in the final 24 hours of the summer transfer window was a target for Man United. We know they wanted to add the midfielder. So for Conor Gallagher, they tried. They had an official contact with Atletico Madrid. Man United asked for a loan deal, maybe with a buy option clause included, paying main part of the salary, but the answer from Atletico Madrid was no chance to let Conor go on a loan deal in the final hours of the window. They wanted to keep Conor Gallagher. Also, Crystal Palace tried to bring him back after being a player of the season there in 2022. So Palace tried, Man United tried in the final hours of the window, but for Atletico Madrid it was, let's say, not so smart to let go a player like Conor Gallagher in the final hours of the window.
And now, last question, probably the question of the questions for the Man United fans watching us is who will be the top signing for Man United in 2026?
But look, the position to cover is going to be midfielder. Manchester United will go for a midfielder, an important midfielder in 2026. We see if it's going to be January, if it's going to be summer transfer window. I think Man United have been showing in August that they have very clear ideas, or they get the player they want, especially in that position, or they wait and they prefer to wait for the next two transfer windows. So this is the position of the club. The player they want is Carlos Baleba, at least with Ruben Amorim as a coach. Then if this will change in the future, we will see. But Baleba is considered the perfect player. Man United were very happy with Baleba, very keen and very interested in the opportunity of joining Man United, even without European football. So I think Man United will continue their option, their opportunity to go for Carlos Baleba. From Brighton was a complete closed door this summer. Let's see what's going to happen in the future. I think Man United will try again for Baleba in 2026, but that position, defensive midfielder, intensity in midfield, is what Ruben Amorim keeps repeating in every meeting they have at Man United. Intensity in midfield. So I think they will go for that kind of player.